Hey guys, Stephen White here. Today we're going to be talking about the information that you need to collect from your tenant applicants. So what information is important for a landlord to collect from an applicant on the actual rental application? Well, before we dive into that, I think it's important to point out that make sure you're using the correct application. Certain states have specific rules about rental applications. A good example would be New York State. You can't ask for a person's date of birth. California, it's preferred that you use the California Realtors Association's application. So, of course, you can find applications on rentprep.com and in our free resources, but be sure you're making good use of the correct application that you're using, applicable to your state. As far as the information that you're collecting, obviously you want to start with the most important stuff: the name, the date of birth, the social security number, and their address. Just to make a point about the social security number, we're definitely living in a day and age where people don't feel as comfortable giving their social security numbers. Sometimes that's okay and sometimes it's not. If you're running a background check on the person, chances are you're going to want that social security number. If it's something they're not comfortable giving to you, there are ways around it. I would definitely recommend, if you do end up selecting that tenant, at least in the lease process, you do gather their social security number. It's an important thing to have for any landlord. In terms of the information that you have on the application, such as their employment information, residence, previous residence, again, critical information in terms of the screening process. You want to make sure that the application is filled out in its entirety. Some of the most successful landlords I've worked with definitely institute a no blank space policy, meaning if the applicant hands it back to you and it's missing a bunch of stuff, you kindly hand it back and say, I'll accept this when it's completed in full. Lastly, personal references, something we get asked about a lot. I would not call personal references when it comes to the screening process. Of course, you know, any friend that you speak to is going to say they're great people and give them a glowing review. Personal references are more important sort of after the fact or in a worst case scenario. Why? Because obviously people list their nearest relatives, next of kins, mothers, fathers, and if they skip town and abandon your property and leave you owing a balance without any forwarding address, well, those are people you usually want to call to try and get some information on where this person is. So personal references, more important after the fact, not necessarily in the screening process, but still very important, critical to get that information on the application. And again, successful landlords institute that no blank space policy, so be sure to make sure that those applications are filled out in their entirety. Be sure to check out our website. You can click the link to get to our free resources, and also on rentprep.com we've got a list of states and their rules, and so be sure, if you're living in a state that you're not quite sure what the rules are, check out the website, make sure that you're doing everything within compliance for landlording, and of course, subscribe to our channel.